Foundation Season 3 has come to a close, and there's a lot of material to break down, including a major twist. Apple TV Plus' sci-fi series is based on Isaac Asimov's Foundation book series, though the show takes notable creative liberties with the material. Foundation Season 3 examined the rise of the Mule, played by Pilu Asbeek, as Garl Dornick prepared to face off against the mentalic foe. The Season 3 finale finally saw that confrontation, but with some unexpected reveals. Foundation Season 3's Mule identity twist explained. Sinve Carlsen and Cody Fern in Foundation Season 3. The identity of the Mule was an expected twist for those who have read Foundation and Empire, but the Apple TV Plus adaptation threw readers and show watchers alike for a loop with an additional change. After Garl Dornick defeats Pilu Asbeek's version of the Mule, who's been the primary antagonist all season, it's revealed that Beta was secretly the one pulling the strings. Throughout Foundation Season 3, we've seen the Mule use his power to manipulate minds numerous times, spreading chaos throughout the galaxy. It's now clear that Beta was the one controlling these circumstances, using the Mule we'd seen as a decoy. In a previous episode, Asbeek's character even revealed that he felt his life wasn't his own. To understand this, we must revisit the flashbacks of the Mule's childhood that we saw earlier in the season. Beta was a young girl on a planet that enforced a single-child law, who lived a relatively decent life until her parents gave birth to a baby boy, whom they tried to hide. After the baby was discovered, Beta's parents were forced to choose between them. Beta's parents chose the boy, attempting to drown her, which unleashed her mentalic powers. Beta survived but was forever scarred by the incident, setting out to force the entire galaxy to love her. She later had run-ins with pirates, which is how she brought the Warlord Mule and the Balladeer Magnifico Giganticus under her command. How Garl defeats the Mule and why she leaves Harry Seldon behind. Garl looking worriedly at an older Harry Seldon in Foundation Season 3 Episode 2. Much of Beta's plan is still hard to discern at this point, but one of her primary goals is to find the second Foundation, where Garl Dornick had been in cryosleep for decades. Beta now has the location of Ignis, having taken control of Han Pritcher, but Garl was a step ahead, having Prem Pava move its population to Trantor. To defeat Beta mentally, Garl influenced Magnifico, forcing him to play her song instead of Beta's. Garl was able to defeat the Warlord Mule, who was likely a mentalic as well, but even with Magnifico's music, she wasn't able to do anything more than stall Beta, giving her time to escape. This leads her back to Harry Seldon for another chat. Rather than bring the Vault's version along with them, Garl tells it that the real Harry died years ago. This version of Harry is left behind, lacking the human body it desired. It's unclear if or how Harry will return in future seasons. Brother Dusk's ascension and why he kills Demerzel and Day. Foundation still. Brother Dusk has been a fascinating character throughout Foundation Season 3, reckoning with his impending death. After he uses the Navacula in the season's penultimate episode and is rejected by Prem, he truly loses it. He enters the Cleon cloning facility on the day of his planned ascension and begins destroying the future of the Cleonic dynasty. Dusk notably takes the baby version of Cleon, using it to trick Demerzel into destroying herself. Knowing that Demerzel would be forced to protect the baby clone, Dusk retreats to the Ascension Chamber and tosses the baby on the light beam that was intended for him. Demerzel jumps on top to save the child, but both of them are destroyed. Demerzel was only inches from freedom, with Day finding a way to break her out of the control forced upon her by Cleoni. Tragically, it looks like this is the last we're going to see of her. Dusk also took advantage of Day's lack of nanits, which he gave up earlier in the season, killing his competition. Brother Darkness now reigns as Empire, wielding the Prime Radiant and the Navacula. For those who love watching Lee Pace in the series, I don't anticipate the actor's departure. Importantly, Brother Dawn is still alive and could grow to become a new version of Day, though the Cleonic dynasty is over at this point. This could essentially be the last version of Cleon. Foundation's Earth reveal and Collie's robot connection explained. Demerzel in Foundation. The final setup tease for Foundation Season 3 was a glimpse of Earth, with Collie and another robot seemingly hiding out on the moon. Collie is a fascinating, phantom player in all the maneuvering going on in Foundation, and although we still don't know much about her, the season's ending implies that she's a robot. Although Day couldn't get the brazen head working in time to save Demerzel, it seems to have sent a signal all the way to Collie, suggesting that her faction, whomever they are, will begin to get involved. The image of Earth could lead in any number of directions, but there's certainly precedent for it in Asimov's novels, such as Foundation and Earth. How Foundation Season 3's ending differs from the books. Still from Foundation. The differences between Foundation and the books at this point are so numerous that it'd almost be more worthwhile to point out what's similar. In the novel Foundation and Empire, the only characters present in the respective climax are Beta, Tauren, Ebling, and Magnifico. Notably, Magnifico is the real Mule in the books, not Beta. Similarly, Magnifico's goal is to learn the location of the second foundation, which Beta protects by shooting and killing Eblingmiss, preventing him from giving the information up to Magnifico. Beta had discerned that Magnifico was the Mule and took the only action she could to protect the second foundation. What's next for Foundation Season 4? Laura Byrne as Lady Demerzel leaning out of a tapestry in Foundation. With Foundation and Empire out of the way, it seems the next season will focus on Second Foundation, looking to complete Asimov's trilogy. The Mule is still at large, with the Second Foundation and Empire holding out against their influence. Eventually, we'll see Gal and Beta have a rematch.